Dating Greek. I'm Elizabeth. And I'm Khaki, and we are two single Greek sisters. You probably know that by now. So let's cut to the chase. We brought 16 Greek Americans together to find love sight unseen. And how did we do that? Well, most of them applied, some were referred by friends, and the rest we DM'd on Instagram. So if you're looking for your next Greek man or woman, apply for season 4. But let's get to tonight's dates. Tonight we have 11 great dates lined up for you. Find out which cast member got injured playing Quidditch, and whose spirit animal is a koala. Who hates when people eat string cheese the wrong way? All this and more on Dating Greek.
After our conversation last night, you were definitely my number one on my list.
You were my first one as well last night. You were first on my list as well. We were both number one on each other's list. Like, that's just like such a great feeling to hear. I don't know. It's a compliment, and I like that.
I'm happy the feeling was mutual, but for me, it was really easy. I was like, okay, there's 2 people. That's it. Just for the sake of transparency, I was like...
She definitely knows what she wants. I like that. She said it was really just kind of 2 people that she likes, and she mentioned I'm one of them. I actually, kid you not, I was actually talking about the cars and the typewriter. You saying that to me, I was like I said, it's piqued my interest. I even said that in my reaction video. I was like, you got me there, and that's why you were number one.
Likewise with you, I really, really can appreciate... Like, when I say primal, I don't know if that's the correct adjective, but that's what I mean. Like, somebody that they work with their hands. And I love what you were telling me. Like, chopping down the wood yesterday in the group call last night. I was like, guys, I don't want to tell you this because I don't want you guys to like James. But he cuts down his own wood for the fire. And everyone started laughing. And I was like, I'm serious.
Plus, like, she talked about me to the other girls last night, and that's just like, it's just funny to hear that. It's like a warm, fuzzy feeling you get. Like, my ears ringing because someone's talking about me, you know? It's so funny to think about that. Like, what is she telling her friends?
Right.
I won't say it's a confidence booster. It's kind of like wow, like, I don't know what to say to that. I appreciate it a lot because, like I said, you don't really hear what girls talk about.
I read this book. It's called Women Are From Venus and Men Are From Mars. The entire thesis of it is like, okay, women, they're relationship based, not just romantically, but everything's for relationships. And men communicate for information. So the communication channels are different. One's for information, one's for connection. My point with that is I kind of like telling them how I feel, because it's almost a way for the Martians, as this book was saying, men are from Mars, to learn about kind of the more, I guess, some female eccentricities that aren't as natural to the masculines. So yeah, thanks for saying that, because there was a purpose for telling you that, and that was the exact purpose.
I've never heard that side of, like, girl talk, to say the least.
Well, girl talk is juicy, so... If you asked your friends, hey, what are my best traits, what would they answer?
Prepared. I keep tools in my truck. If I'm helping my buddy out with something, like if he doesn't have a tool, I normally have it in there. Like,
so you're reliable.
Yeah, I guess you could say reliable as well. Well, what do you like?
I love jazz. That's my favorite genre of music. I love the saxophones. There's something about it. The saxophone is so sensual. When I hear it, I'm like, oh, I love this.
Does it give me any points that I played the saxophone in middle school?
Oh my God, I'm going to put that in all caps. James,
I haven't played it.
You are impressing me.
I have not played it since middle school, since 8th grade. So.
Well, if you want to serenade the women, that's the way to go. Pick up that saxophone and boom.
Well, it looks like I'm going to go buy me a saxophone tomorrow and relearn how to play it because it's been a minute. A little rusty.
It's more effective than a puppy.
It was great talking to you. I hope I get to talk to you tomorrow.
I'm really happy it started off with you because I would have been excited to talk to you all night. So
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much. I'll have to go find a saxophone later.
Just got off my call with James B, and again, I am so impressed.
It was great. We just did not stop talking.
He told me that one of his greatest strengths is reliability, and he said that if one of his friends was working on a car and his friend didn't have the right tool, he would have the right tool. And for me, that is the Allen wrench right to my heart.
I haven't listened to a lot of jazz either, but I did tell her I played the saxophone, and she definitely liked that. That is hilarious. If everything goes good tonight, and her and I are talking tomorrow, maybe look at by going buy a saxophone on Saturday, go buy me a used one or something, and relearn.
Wow, a saxophone serenade sounds very romantic. Probably would be if James B could play past the 6th grade level. Hey, he did say he was gonna go out and get one and practice. Well, if a saxophone is the way to a woman's heart, I probably should join him for a lesson. Well, that and being a lumberjack, remember? How could I forget? Lumberjacks and typewriters. Can't compete with that. Nope. But I did learn one other thing. What's that? Women are from Venus and men are from Mars. It really does feel like that sometimes. I guess that means you can find me on Venus. And I guess that means my Greek British man is on Mars. Keep dreaming.
Oh, I broke my leg while I was playing Quidditch. Yes, from Harry Potter in high school.
Oh my
Very
gosh.
cool. Very cool of me to do it while playing a fictional sport, holding a broomstick between my legs. Yes.
Oh, so cool. I'm sure that was like every time someone was like, oh, how'd you break your leg? You were just like, oh my gosh, do you have to ask? Do you have to ask?
I did make the local newspaper, not for breaking my leg, but for other Quidditch accomplishments.
Okay. Quidditch All-Star. I have a scar on my chin, and I had to get stitches because like my chin split open, and so for a couple weeks it looked like I had like a beard, and I definitely got some jokes poked at me while I was in like the 1st grade. People were like, "Do you have a beard?" It was stitches.
Brutal. Oh, kids are the worst.
How or when did you find out that Santa wasn't real?
So I was maybe in 6th grade. My sister was in 4th grade. We were 12, 10, maybe. I was like, yeah, this isn't the real thing. And my sister and I like resolved to go hunting around for presents in our house. And we went into like the crawl space underneath our house, and we found, oh, I was getting a drum set. There was like a guinea pig cage because she wanted a guinea pig. While we were down there looking around at stuff, my mom figured out that we were down there, and she came like marching around. We came out, and she was like, yeah, that's right, I'm Santa and the Tooth Fairy and the fucking Easter Bunny too.
At some point you have to take credit for it.
And I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
oh my god.
That is amazing. Yeah. So I feel like some parents will like sit you down and like say, yeah, Santa's not real, but I enjoy her way.
What was the way that you found out? Was it quite so eventful?
I was a real like believer in Santa. Like one year I even got like some reindeer bells that like showed up at the house, and like my uncle told me that like Santa left these for me, and I was like chosen, and I was like, oh my gosh, like Santa is real. And then as I got older, like I just started to notice that Santa's handwriting and my dad's handwriting were the same. And I was like, I think he's not real.
Eventually, you just like logic your way through it, and you're like, yeah, that's not something that's really possible. But I will say, like, my parents worked really hard to create some Christmas magic for us and make it special, and that was like really cool of them, and I want to do that for my kids too, because
totally
like, seeing them light up is gonna be so cool.
Yeah, I agree. It's like part of being a kid and like growing up. I just talked to David. We had a great conversation.
Once again, it went really well. I felt like the conversation flowed very easily, and it was once again full of laughs.
You can't really tell how they're feeling with their facial expressions or their body language. So like hearing someone say that they like something about you is definitely nice. We both kind of have like a witty like banter going on. We had some laughs.
We talked about, you know, some Christmas traditions and Santa, how we found out he wasn't real. Another really good day with Maeve.
Happy hump day. What's up?
I'm dying to know though. Did you eat chicken strips today? Yes or no?
Yes, I was actually going to bring that up to you later.
Oh my gosh.
I did it just for you
my
for
gosh.
lunch today during work. I specifically ordered, or I not ordered. I went to Jewel and I got chicken strips. So I was like, okay, this is
my
just for her.
I wish you could see how much joy is on my face right now. That makes me so happy.
Not gonna lie to you, absolutely amazing. Like 10 out of 10
good.
would recommend a promising choice on your part.
I was feeling a lot of pressure today. I was like, oh my god, if Andreas gets chicken strips with buffalo and ranch and doesn't like it, like it might be a deal breaker, and I just can't handle that. So something we talked about yesterday was our preferred dipping sauce for chicken strips, and I told him mine is a buffalo ranch combo, and he had chicken strips today in my honor for lunch, which just brought me so much joy.
And like another quick question I actually did have for you is, what is one of your biggest fears?
Oh my god, you're gonna die. I have an extreme fear of birds.
Why? I'm curious. That's a shocking one.
You know, like, there isn't really rhyme or reason for why I'm scared of birds, but, like, in the words of Lady Gaga, like, I was just born this way. And
love that. I'm not gonna lie, like, the fact that she is afraid of birds, like, that shot like a big arrow through the heart. Like, like, I don't want to make it a deal breaker, but I had a bird, and he was my best friend, and birds, I love birds, so that was a yikes. Actually really excited, because I have a couple of new questions for you, and I kind of want you to spill the tea. So, what is one of your biggest pet peeves?
Oh, okay, I can tell you my number one right off the bat. My number one pet peeve is when somebody opens a string cheese and just takes a bite into it, and they don't peel the strings.
Yeah, okay, that's a major yikes. I respect that a lot.
Like, why are you eating a string cheese if you are not going to pull it into strings? Like, that, I don't understand. And it bothers me to my core.
I mean, yeah, it's like if you wanted a freaking cheese stick, like, go order some mozzarella sticks. Like, why are you destroying this perfectly cultured item?
Thank you. Okay, glad we're on the same page.
Okay. What is one thing that you've either, like, enjoyed learning or just in general, like, liked about our past couple dates now?
I really have enjoyed your sense of humor and your wit. Like, I just feel like our conversations, like, bounce off one another, and they're so fun. Like, I could be in any type of mood, and I could talk to you, and then after leaving the conversation, I feel like I would be in, like, 10 times better of a mood.
Oh, that gave me the fuzzies. I absolutely love that answer, and I'm glad that you feel that way, because that's literally what I aspire, so I'm glad that it's obviously working.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, without a doubt.
We're just going to have to, like, go on to Shark Tank and just pitch in some of these ideas, too, because I'm going to be like, Mark Cuban, I got a deal for you. And then we're just going to be like,
yes.
All right, we're done. We made it, people.
The fact that you mentioned Shark Tank brings me a lot of joy. That is my Yaya's other favorite show.
Dude, and Yaya, I swear, she's going to love me when she meets me one day.
Oh, yeah, she honestly, like, might like you more than me, so I'm, like, a little nervous.
Well, it's a good thing that you're a Papu's favorite, because at least this way I have a chance at winning Yaya over.
Yeah, there you go. It's okay. Our Papus are going to be best friends. They're going to be, like, outside smoking cigs, drinking coffee.
Yours can teach mine to herd sheep. I know, like, my Papu had a couple of dogs back in Greece, so I was going to say we'll just be trading animals at that point.
Easter? Oh, my God. It's going to be nuts.
Yeah, right. Easter is going to be an absolute wild fest, and I am so ready for it.
Absolutely.
All right, day number 3 with Alexis, and I just cannot stop smiling with how freaking awesome it is.
He is phenomenal. I absolutely love talking to him, and we vibe together.
I mean, I just absolutely love her vibe. The fact that she obviously has so much to offer in terms of, like, not only her personality, but the fact that she's obviously, like, super, like, witty.
Our wit and our sense of humor just, like, bounces off one another, and it is so much fun talking to him. Like, I could have talked to him, like, all 3 of my dates. Yeah.
But overall, like, I definitely see more of, like, a coupley vibe with me and her. Like, we do have, like, a cute little banter back and forth. I definitely felt a little bit more flirty this time around. So, I mean, I'm hoping that we obviously, like, get to pursue further.
All of the gold stars, lots of points. He's fantastic.
Me and her are just, like, such a great fit, I feel like.
Excellent first date. I don't know how we're going to top this date night 3. It's going to be tough.
So, are chicken strips the way to Alexis's heart? Seems like it. Definitely not string cheese. How do we feel about string cheese in general? Is it even cheese? Inconclusive. What we do know is Andreas had a pet bird and it was his best friend. I just want to hear more about that.
What I want to see more of is David playing Quidditch.
Is this the season of the most interesting Greek men?
Most unique.
The Bachelor has nothing on us.
Crazy that we're on the third night of this. We survived. We made it.
Look at us go, right? It feels like
I know,
just started.
progress. So, and proposals happen tomorrow, which is crazy.
Oh, wait, really?
Just kidding. I don't know if you heard what I said. I said proposals. I don't think anyone's
Oh,
proposing.
no, that is not what I heard. Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad you misheard because I was like, uh-oh, my joke fell flat. And then I was like, uh-oh, she thinks someone's proposing.
No.
No,
No.
probably not. Probably not. But maybe. I mean, I'm known to do things like that, so I guess so. I wish you got my proposal joke at the beginning because I thought that was hilarious, to be quite honest, but that's okay that she didn't. I'm dying to know, and clearly they are dying to know, what is one thing you've enjoyed learning about or like about your date?
So I have several things that I've written down.
Me
the
too.
first being that you ordered Persepolis, which was awesome. I'm really looking forward to what you think about it because it's a phenomenal book. So I really enjoyed that you listened to that part and you actually ordered it. I love that you do things on a whim. And also our conversations just flow really, really well. It makes it so much easier. So thank you.
Aw, of course. I think you have a really great voice. There's like a sweetness to it that just is like, sweet. They asked us is there anyone that sticks, something about anyone that sticks out? And the first thing that came to mind was Lizzie's voice.
Oh,
that's
thank
just
you.
calming and sweet. And yeah, it's great. I also really like that you're a hard worker. I sometimes think Greek people can be caught up in stereotypes from a long time ago where Greek women are seen as nikokiras. I actually think that's the worst word ever. My sister and I joke about it. I like the idea of someone working and it's just cool how many things you're doing. I think it's impressive and I think that's awesome.
Thank you. Oh, he said that I had a sweet voice and that I was hardworking, and that was the sweetest thing someone's ever said to me. I think that this conversation we got to know each other a lot better.
Oh,
who or what
that's
drives
good.
you to do or be better?
I think, and this is probably the case for a lot of Greek people, at least I feel in a lot of ways I started from a place of privilege. And sometimes when I think of doing things mediocre, it's gosh, I was given this opportunity to hopefully do something great, or at least otherwise I've wasted an opportunity that I think in a lot of ways I was given. Probably true for a lot of Greeks as well, but you look back at where our families came from, people gave up a lot so that I could sort of be where I am. I've always been a lifelong learner, and so I think that goes hand in hand with trying to be better.
I really loved that you said that you're a lifelong learner, because that was actually the same exact answer that I had when I wrote it down.
Yeah?
I love that my family, they're the ones that really encourage me to be the best that I can be. My goal in life is to obviously make them proud, but also kind of how you said, do it for myself too, because I was given all these opportunities that people worked so hard to provide me with.
Good question. Very deep. So I'm going to return the favor because I have a question that I have a lot of questions, but this is one that's particularly important. I'm curious, what role does faith play in your daily life?
Okay, that's actually so crazy. I was going to ask you the same exact question.
Really? Same wording?
I swear I wrote it word for word.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you already have an answer then.
My faith plays a really big role in my life. I find myself so blessed to have been brought up in the Orthodox faith. I have my own personal relationship with God, and praying every single night is just something that I take as a really special time. And I think that I wouldn't be who I am today without my Orthodox upbringing.
That's awesome.
What about you?
Well, first, thanks for sharing. I'd say faith is extremely important to me. For as long as I can remember, I've been a pretty big prayer. I used to put a cross on the top of my tests in high school. I prayed before the dating Greek thing started. Just quickly, I pray before a lot of things. Oh wow! I think people are inherently good, and so I think that comes from my faith, and I think it's a reason why I really like interacting with people and why I like experiencing different cultures and places. So.
You said everything so beautifully. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm glad you had the faith thing on your list. This is not a deal breaker, but I'm more just curious. Have you ever stayed at a hostel?
At a what?
Sorry, that's a dumb question. People are going to watch this and say he's ridiculous. They just talked about a deep thing. I was more just curious. I probably ruined a good moment. I guess that gets at my bigger question, which is, do you think you're a pretty easygoing, go with the flow type of person?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, good. So if we
That's,
went
like, the
backpacking
best.
through Europe together, would you you'd be down for that?
110% yes.
Honestly, if I didn't like her so much, I'd probably say it's a red flag she didn't know what a hostel was. But I do like her, so we'll give her the pass, but maybe we'll try one on our backpacking trip.
It was really nice talking to you.
Oh, we're already done? But I have so many more
Yeah.
questions.
So I guess we're just gonna have to talk
Oh,
some
man.
more.
Dating Greek sisters. Tonight's been a night. Coming in, I would say that the two dates that I probably had most on my mind were with Carrie and Lizzy.
It was so good. Before I could ask what role Faith plays in his life, he asked me.
She had very good questions written out that were thoughtful. And I loved talking to her about faith, and I liked all of it.
I really, really enjoyed this conversation. It could have went on for so much longer. And he gave me a book recommendation. I'm gonna order it tonight.
You know what I'm curious about? She's mentioned she's in school, so my assumption is she's on the younger side. She seems very mature and well-spoken and intelligent for someone that's maybe still in school. And I feel like outside of this dating Greek world, age, if I saw someone still in school, I'd probably be like, that's too young, different places in life. But she seems great. I was smiling a lot throughout the date. We talked about serious stuff. She shared very personal things. Thought it was really good. That's all I got for you. Talk to you soon.
So, James L is proposing.
Don't you mean he's already engaged?
Apparently, that's what we heard in last week's Instagram Live.
Greeks really do love to talk, don't they?
And they were asking us if we were invited to the wedding.
Hey, couples of dating Greek, remember, we find you long-lasting love and you invite us to the wedding.
And we get to make a toast.
But hey, let's talk James L and Lizzy.
So, they share the Orthodox faith.
But she hasn't been to a hostel.
Could be a deal breaker. Priorities, people.
Also, I had to say, your voice is super calming too.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, obviously there's no body language to feed off of, so it's the voice is really what you're paying attention to.
Yeah, that is true. I like your voice as well.
I don't even know what kind of voice I have. I don't know if it's low or high, but thanks.
It's cute.
Oh,
That
I
wasn't an
appreciate
option,
that.
but I choose that option.
Yeah. Take your own path. I like it.
Yeah. So this is kind of like another random deep question, but this one's quick, or it could be quick. So you have a son. He's 12 years old in middle school when everyone's weird as hell because their balls are just dropping. And he gets called into the office because of a fight that happened. And he says he's being bullied and he was standing up for himself. How would you respond as a parent?
Going off of what my dad has instilled in me, you gotta ride for your kid.
Hell yeah.
You gotta support your kid. And if they're feeling they're uncomfortable and they're being picked on, they gotta stand up for themselves.
I really love that answer. I kind of picked on you with that one because I know you're a school teacher, and I see something plaguing our society in that there's some school systems now that punish kids that defend themselves who are being bullied the same as the people who are bullying them. I am never for violence or for seeking any kind of thing like that, but I'm all for defending yourself.
For sure. That was a
like
great
that.
question. Would you respond similarly?
Exactly the same. You really couldn't have said it better. So
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
great minds think alike, so.
I really enjoyed talking to you, and I loved your answers. And
Yeah, same with
maybe
you.
I'll see you again.
Yeah, I
Thank
really
you.
hope so.
Me too. I loved her answer when I asked her what she would do if her child was getting bullied at school and, they got in trouble for defending themselves. And, her answer was the same as mine. I'd support my child, and people need to be able to defend themselves.
Once you get conversation going, you just don't want to stop. We talked about a lot. Our conversation went like this. It was just it went serious, it went funny, it went serious. He asked the more serious questions, and I kind of asked the more funny questions.
And she likes to work out. She goes to Orange Theory. I dig it.
I had some good news for you. You're going to be really, really happy with me. I finally got to watch a bunch of TikToks today.
I had that written down. I was thinking about questions that I wanted to ask you. I was like, you know what? Did he watch any TikToks? I gotta ask him.
All right, so I'm trying to blindside you with another question.
Oh God, I should have known this was
Yeah.
coming. Okay, go.
Yeah,
Shoot.
I'm throwing you a curveball. So you've been in a relationship, haven't you?
No.
Never been in a relationship. Have you ever
Mm-mm.
like, talked to a guy or like,
Oh yeah. Yeah, but nothing long term. I've never like been in a full relationship,
Gotcha.
which is like one of the
Okay.
reasons why I wanted to do this.
All right, well, listen to this. So, the guy that you last spoke to, what would they say to me about you?
We didn't end on bad terms at all, so I don't think there would be any like negative things that he could say. It just didn't work out between us. We had like all these plans, and then I really do think that just life got in the way of everything.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I think it's pretty important what someone's ex would say about them. I'm sure you've heard from guys like, "Oh my goodness, my ex was crazy. Like she was crazy."
Right.
But like, was she really crazy, or like, are you just saying that? I think that my ex would kind of say the same thing. None that have ended on bad terms. If you were to ever run into them or talk to them, they'd probably say good things about me.
That's good.
I was going to tell you that I'm actually really looking forward to, talking to you when we're not being recorded.
Oh yeah.
Or
same.
like, actually seeing what you look like. Because I feel like all the guys last night were completely like going crazy and, thinking about, oh my gosh, like I wonder, just what she looks like. And I also think it'd be really cool if we ever got the chance to meet. I mean, I've been to the city, but like literally just once.
You gotta come on up and we'll hang out and we can go all over the city. I didn't ask where you worked currently, or at least I didn't write it down.
Okay, yeah, and actually on the first night, we ended the night without me telling you, and I told you we would pick up on that. And it's, okay, so I'll tell you about the cool parts of my job. We call it shopping the market, and so I'll go and I'll pretend like I'm buying a house somewhere, and I'll go in and I'll say, yeah, my wife's at work, but I got the chance to come out and, come check out the house, and it looks absolutely amazing. So, I end the day thinking like, dang, like I really want to buy this house. Something that I've always wanted to do is I've wanted to bring somebody with me and have them pretend to like be my wife so that people don't look at me weird and actually can like look at me as somebody who can buy a home. So if you're ever in Orlando and you want to help me out with work, you could definitely come and shop.
We're gonna go look at houses. Yes.
Yes.
So really funny thing, me and my sisters, we binge watch like House Hunters on HGTV. So I feel like I'd be really good at that job.
I love watching that too. Like my whole childhood was like walking in the family room and like my mom has HGTV on and I'll sit there and I would tell you one thing, but it would give away the way that I look. But multiple people have told me this. I look like one of the hosts of an HGTV show.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna look through all of them now. So it's like a host from HGTV. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and it's a pretty popular show. Yeah.
Okay, now me and my friends are gonna go on a hunt. And we're gonna just compare whenever we do get to see your face. That is so funny. He told me a clue that how he looks like an HGTV host. So we're gonna go house hunting if I ever go down to Orlando. You're Orthodox, right?
Mm-hmm.
What role does faith play in your life?
That's a really good question. I've gotten a lot closer and a lot more in tune with my faith as of recently. Just having someone to believe in and, kind of putting your trust in and, kind of sacrificing any sort of worry that you have has, really kind of helped me in all aspects of my life. I definitely would like to hear the same thing about you.
Of course. The reason I asked was whenever we were applying to Dating Greek, they asked like, what's a deal breaker? And my answer was that anybody that I talked to, I wanted them to share the same faith as me. Because for me, faith is such like a big part of my life and who I am. I just wanted to make sure that there was some aspect of faith there. It
is a part of my life, but it's not a deal breaker for me. If somebody isn't close, with their faith, it would make things a little awkward. And, I say it's not a deal breaker, but I'm sure we'd clash a lot if I were to date somebody that's not a Christian. Especially
it's a big question. I know. I'm sorry. I definitely caught you off guard with that one. See, it's payback for yesterday.
I guess so. So I just finished my date with Lizzy and it went good. I had a big question that was one of my deal breakers, and a big focus that I have for the evening was what the role of faith is within his life. We came up to the topic that, faith was a really big thing for her. And as it is a part of my life, it's not as big of a deal breaker for me.
He has become more in tune with his faith as of recently. He wants to talk about that more in the future, and I totally respect that.
Not that there's anything wrong that it is for her, but I've never really had a partner that's come to church with me and been that for me.
He sounds like a really easygoing man, and I really want to talk to him some more. It was great.
I think it might be a good thing to, share a faith with somebody, but I just don't know if it means that she has other things that she might be a little bit kind of picky on, but we'll see. I'm probably completely wrong. I'm a little nervous.
So it went really well, and I'm really hoping that we get to talk some more.
Did Alex just propose to Lizzy?
Seems like he needs a wife to go house hunting.
Seems like the wrong order of events, but hey, whatever works to find love.
Not sure how that religion question went over though.
I've never been asked how my ex would describe me.
What would they say?
Oh, only wonderful, glowing reviews.
I think we'll have to have her as our next special guest on Dating Greek, and I'll ask her myself.
Hey, it's Dating Greek, not Dating Elizabeth. Let's move on to our next couples.
So, something I've liked about you, I have a lot of ridiculous impulses, like starting a podcast and having dance parties in my living room, and you've indulged these fantasies whenever we've talked. And I think that tells me that, like, you would go along with some of this stuff and we would have a lot of fun together, and I really like that.
I like that he said that we like kind of seem like on the same level, because like we both like talked about like the podcast and having like a dance party, but I also just like really like your laugh, and I think you were told that yesterday, the like group consensus.
Yes.
But you just have like a really like contagious laugh.
Kathy let it slip. She said, "Yeah." When I asked them last night, everyone said David has an awesome laugh. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh, that makes me feel so good."
Yeah, I like that, because then it also like makes me feel like I'm funny, but also like it just like wants to make me laugh. Yeah, that's really my two favorite things.
You are funny, and I want to make you laugh. So all good.
Well, thank
good
you.
Things all around.
When I told him that I thought he has a really good laugh, like he started laughing, which made me laugh even more. So where in Texas did you live?
I lived in Fort Worth for a couple of years.
Okay.
I finished out high school there. That's where my parents still are.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I moved to Dallas like 2 years ago. I didn't know what like two-stepping was, and so I actually went to Billy Bob's, and I was like, wow, what is everyone doing on the dance floor?
Did you have someone teach you though?
No, I still don't know how to do it.
Oh no! Well, I have to teach you.
Yeah, I think you do. We like kind of bonded like over like Texas things, like two-stepping, even though I don't know how to two-step.
Somehow after 2 years of living in Texas, she doesn't know how to two-step. Well, we're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, podcast, two-stepping. That's on our list.
That's it.
What would you say your biggest fear is?
I think it's probably people not liking me or secretly not liking me. I tend to seek approval a lot, and I think highly of other people's opinions, especially other people that I respect or I think highly of. And I think like that idea that they might not think the same of me is a real big fear for me.
It's a good one. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciated like him opening up like about his biggest fear, and that how he like seeks approval and really like thinks of like the opinions of others. And I would say like I'm the same way, and often think about like what other people think about me. So one is failure. So like not accomplishing something like I want to accomplish, or feeling like I'm not good enough for like what people were like expecting.
On the flip side, we'll go something a little more positive. What's something you're really proud of?
Just like proud of myself for like moving to a new state like by myself, to somewhere like I didn't know anyone, and just like establishing myself here, and just like really being open to like meeting new people and putting myself out there, because I think like 6 years ago like that would not be the case.
Just finished my third date with Angela.
I think it went a little bit better than last night in terms of like energy, but I don't think it was like the same as like the first night.
We seemed to have a really good energy together.
I'd want to like get to know him some more.
It seems that we would have a lot of fun if we're together, and I told her that when she asked what I liked about her. Another good date with Angela, and hopefully we'll talk again tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not sure how tomorrow night works, but I'm like, oh, who am I gonna pick?
Wait, you got me excited because I said church is important to me and you said good. And my question I was going to ask is like how faith plays into your daily life. So it seems like that's important to you.
Yeah, no, it's super important. You know, moving like a little bit, it's nice to know like wherever I move, I'll always have the church. I teach Sunday school actually. So
whoa, cool. What grade?
Tulsa, so in Tulsa I did 9th through 12th grade, and then here I do 8th and 9th. And so now I'm like terrified that my Sunday school kids are gonna watch this.
Oh yeah.
It's honestly also like a deal breaker for me. Like it's like one of the most important things. Like if I don't share the same faith as you, like it's not gonna work out at all.
Couldn't agree more, actually. I haven't like dated a crazy amount, I would say. Like I've gone on dates with people, and like when I was living in Boston, I had gone on a few dates with this one girl who was Greek, which like doesn't really happen to me that often. And I think with Greeks, I always just assume that we're on the same page with religion because in my head, Greeks are all the same.
Yeah.
We were on a date like near the end, and I had gotten a glass of water, and I like did my cross before I drank my water, and she like was very confused and like started kind of questioning it. We just had very different perspectives on religion. But for me, that is a deal breaker too. Like at that point, it's like, well, what's the point of going on future dates if like you don't believe in God and I do? You know, like you have to be on the same page. Eventually, like if you end up having children, like you want to be on the same page for them. You like, so I agree fully.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we kind of like talked about deal breakers, but like, what are things that you are like looking for or like qualities that you want in someone that you date?
Good question. Another one on my list is what's a deal breaker. So you're kind of hitting all the things I want to talk about.
I mean, I can just steal all your questions.
Yeah, this is good. I don't even need the list. We're on the same page. So I like to have fun, and I think life is so much better happy, which sounds weird, but I think there's a surprising number of people whose like natural disposition isn't to be happy. And so I feel like I try to live life to the fullest. And I'm talking in cliches, I realize. But I feel like every day should be exciting. Like I want someone who shares that philosophy. I will say, if we're just saying straight deal breakers, somebody who throws up on airplanes would probably be a tough one for me because I do like to travel a lot. So hopefully that's not you.
No, it is not. Sometimes that's my sister, though. So
that's okay. I'm not
glad
dating
you're
her,
talking to the
so
right
it's okay.
sister.
Yeah, perfect. I was already sold when you said faith is important to you, so. Just finished date 3 with Carrie, and I'm getting ready to buy my ticket to move to Austin. So yeah, talk to you soon.
It was really great to hear that he also really values his faith and that he's a nice, good Greek boy who goes to church.
The fact that when I said church is important to me and without me prompting it, she said, oh, good, or something like that. Huge win, because that is really important to me. And like hearing she teaches Sunday school, goes to church, moved to a city, went there for the first time. Check, 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 win, win, win.
It just really made me excited to continue talking to him. And I really hope we can talk tomorrow because I felt like there was more we both wanted to say and just like didn't have enough time.
I think we're a good match. Yeah, Carrie. And I often went by Jimmy. Jimmy and Carrie kind of sound similar. They end with the E sound. Though I will say 3 of my 4 dates tonight end with that sound, so I guess that's not unique. Anyways, talk soon.
Hey David, can you teach me how to two-step? I want him to teach me how to play Quidditch. Maybe we can do a double feature, Quidditch two-step. I just want to hear that legendary laugh in real life. But let's talk James L and Carrie. James L is ready to move south to Austin. Maybe they can lead a Sunday school class together. His faith is definitely very important to him. Faith and travel. No puking on planes for the woman who wins his heart. Don't you mean the woman who won his heart? Oh, right. James L, we're still waiting on that wedding invite.
Howdy ho, my happy camper. How are you doing? Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like super, super excited to talk to you all day. And I actually do have a couple of questions for you where today I want you to spill the tea on yourself a little bit. So I hope that you're prepared and ready for it.
Yes, I love that. I actually also have some questions for you.
What would you consider one of like your biggest like weaknesses or like things that you have to improve on?
I definitely sometimes can be very stubborn.
I never take it too seriously. Like, I've been stubborn my whole entire life, and everyone in my life now kind of like bends to it. If I think the sky is red and you tell me it's blue, I'll be like, no, you're wrong. But it's just, again, like I said, it's just for good fun. I'm never like one to pick a fight or hold a grudge over it.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I think that's funny only because of the fact that A, I mean, what Greek isn't? And B, I can be stubborn too. I definitely get that from my dad. So, like, I totally feel that. With stubbornness comes passion, so I can at least respect it.
Definitely. I love that saying. That is totally true.
Besides stubbornness, I would definitely say my biggest thing is patience. It could be something as like simple as like me driving, and like this is such a hypocritical thing because like if there's a driver that's like going too slow in front of me, I have like instant road rage, and I was like, Jesus Christ, Brenda, get to the next lane, and I'm like trying to drive through. And then if roles are reversed and like I'm going the speed limit or maybe just like I'm 1 or 2 miles slower and somebody's like quickly like going around me to like drive through, I was like, damn, I wasn't notified about the 70% sale at Macy's. You can slow the hell down. So I definitely just kind of like to basically like burst out before thinking. So I definitely need to like work on being like, all right, it's okay, Andres, calm the hell down and just take a breath.
Okay, I would say next to stubbornness, that is also one of mine. The driving scenario you just described has been me multiple times.
I was going to say, wow, look at us with our similarities. We're definitely going to be helping each other grow and prosper, so that's a plus side.
Seriously. Okay, I really like that.
After our last date, when you told me like you were an open book, I loved that. Because it just kind of showed me that, you know, you're so personable. Like, I can talk to you about anything, which I have been. And, like, you're just obviously, like, really loyal and, like, trustworthy and genuine. And I think those are, like, some of the most important factors in someone. And I just genuinely love that. So that's definitely been my favorite thing learning about you.
Thank you. That was so sweet. And honestly, I feel the exact same way. Like, you are definitely my, like, easiest, most natural conversation. I love that we align on like everything, and it's also like we learn a lot about each other, but it's just fun. It seems to me too that you are very open and genuine, which again are obviously qualities that you want in a partner.
I was going to say, I know you can't see my reactions right now, but I feel like a kid in a candy store because that just like made me so happy. So I really appreciate that.
So cute.
One other big question I did have for you is I really wanted to know, like, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, God. I'm going to go with koala because they sleep a lot, which I am a sleeper. Like, after the first night of dates, the whole next day, you know, because we were, like, up late and it was so much energy, I was literally falling asleep, like, while standing up. I just could not function. And also, koalas, when they're not sleeping, they're eating, and I am definitely a foodie.
I remember, you're either on the dance floor or at the table eating. It's one of the two.
So yeah, I think koala is actually a very appropriate answer.
What's higher than an A+? Because that's what I'm having with you right now. Night number 3, day number 3 with Elizabeth. I mean, absolutely amazing. I cannot get over how I love talking to this girl. Like, it's absolutely such a good time with her.
And it was such a fun, natural, easy conversation. We both came with questions, which I really liked. We were just like asking each other questions. He asked me some really good ones, and he also like had answers that I really liked to the questions that I asked. He asked me what my spirit animal was, and that was like a really funny conversation, but like still one where I got to know a little bit more about him.
We're basically the same person, and I love myself. I would love a girl version of myself. I mean, it's just crazy how much we relate. I related to her koala question. That's my spirit animal too. I love sleeping and eating. So I was going to say, like, our dates, like Netflix and chilling, is clearly going to be an awesome one for us. I just didn't want to stop talking to her. Like, I really hope we match again tomorrow because she is just absolutely so sweet, so bubbly, so amazing. I mean, I just can't run out of good things to say about her, honestly. As Carly Rae Jepsen in Owl City once sang, it's always a good time, especially talking to her.
awesome to reconnect with you because we hadn't talked, I don't think, since 2015. And just to see everything like we've both gone through and a lot of it being very similar.
I'm so happy to have reconnected with you too. Especially with you, conversation flows so easily. And it just seems that you're so reflective, and so I have been really, really, really impressed by that.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. You've always been so well spoken and you have so much wisdom and really seem to connect on a deeper level than anybody that I've ever met. I feel like you're able to tell me things about myself that I don't even know. You've really got that emotional intelligence that I find highly attractive.
You're so sweet. I'm smiling so much right now. What do you do to enjoy yourself?
I enjoy going out to different restaurants. I try to pick a restaurant I haven't tried like every other week and go there and talk to the owner, whoever's working, tip them really well, let them know that they're loved, leaving good reviews at places and helping businesses out.
That's so sweet. What is your favorite type of food to eat out?
I'd say sushi. I can never go wrong with that. What about you?
I am in your same boat. I love sushi.
She likes sushi. I love sushi. That was her first choice. And I can just keep going on and on.
So I would love to have like a garden someday where I'm able to grow vegetables for my family and then serve it on like plates that I made.
That's awesome. And I really like that you talked about growing your own vegetables. I would love to possibly grow my own fruit and vegetables one day. I'm a big pomegranate person. That's a fun fact right there. I don't think anybody loves pomegranates as much as I do. I love pomegranates. That's my favorite fruit.
My jaw dropped and I wrote it down, all caps. That's my favorite fruit too. And if you don't believe me, I mean, you have me on Instagram, obviously, because we know each other. Go on my Instagram and watch, scroll in there, and you will find probably 1 or 2 pomegranate stories about how much I love pomegranate.
Oh my God,
pomegranate
no
is
way.
Delicious.
I love them. I've got a few California palms sitting in my pantry I'm about to go eat later tonight.
That's so funny that's your favorite fruit. I love that. If you love pomegranates, kind of that juicy, red, deep, sweet flavor, you will love, love, love figs.
I wrote that down for sure. I'm so surprised I haven't tried it.
Have you had a pomegranate from Greece? That's on my bucket list.
No, I haven't. Is it big over there? I know in Italy it is.
The area where my family stays, Porto Heli, they have pomegranate trees wild just growing in the side of the street. And just seeing them, I don't think they ripen obviously until the fall, September, October, November. So I've never had one in Greece because they're still green, but it's so beautiful seeing them just resting so gently on a branch of a tree.
God, I could only imagine. Goals right there. Maybe we'll have to try one together.
I hope so. Imagine, you and I would just be huge smiles on our face, bright-eyed, yes, that's the juiciest pomegranate ever.
I hope so.
All right, well, cool. You love pomegranates. I love pomegranates, so... I think things are going really great.
I had a question. Have you ever read that book, 5 Love Languages?
Yes.
What would you say your 2 are?
I mean, it's definitely the best question I've been asked in this Dating Greek, but I don't think a guy's ever asked me that question. I'm really impressed by that. Top 2 languages are words of affirmation and acts of service. What about yours?
My receiving is quality time. It's a tie between physical touch and acts of service.
Okay.
She also has read 5 love languages, and we share a similar one in our receiving and giving, the acts of service, and so that speaks pretty well. They add more time and it goes by even faster, so it's just what?
I know. Hopefully tomorrow we get 3.5 hours, so.
I know. Just we'll spend the whole time on here.
Well, good thing is I
awesome.
got your personal phone number and you on Instagram, so they don't have to
I know, right?
Just kidding. I'm being recorded.
Too.
You guys gotta know.
Oh yeah, oops.
All right, well, have a good rest of your night, and I really obviously loved our conversation tonight, and enjoy that pomegranate.
I want you to have a good rest of your night too, but maybe not as good as this conversation.
All right. finished out my call with Channing. It was wonderful as always. We both love the pomegranate.
Wow, I just had an incredible conversation with her. We connect on just probably the deepest level that I've connected with someone in a long time. We're only talking on the phone.
And he did say that he hopes we can eat a pomegranate in Greece together, so we shall see.
I feel like I can speak deeply to her. We share so many connections. I mean, hey, she loves pomegranates. She loves them about as much as me, it seems like. I really enjoy talking to her, and we'll see where this goes.
Hey, Chrisanne.
Hey, James, how are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Good. You know, you started out night 1, first date, and now here you are, night 3, last date of the night.
One of my questions I wanted to ask you is, if you were to open Spotify right now, what would be the last song played?
Right before, getting ready, and it was Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa.
I've heard of Dua Lipa. I can't
She's
think
great.
of what Don't Start sounds like.
I'm not going to sing it to you because I don't have a good voice.
Oh, come on.
But
I'll tell you this. I heard some guys had to do some karaoke last night, so I'm going to ask you.
Oh my God, that's incredible.
Let's hear you sing this.
Okay. If you don't want to see me, and that's how it starts, and it's did a
Oh, I know what it is now. Yeah, I know what it is. Don't, yeah.
Yes.
I know it. Yeah, if you don't, yeah. Yes,
wow,
I
I must have a
what
great voice. You knew it right away.
One question I haven't asked anyone is, what is your love language?
This is kind of embarrassing. A bunch of them are tied, but number 1 is gift giving. Okay. I love it when people I guess think of me and give me presents, which sounds so shallow. But gift giving and quality time are actually tied. So, and I think that I really realized that in full force, which this is kind of depressing, but my yaya passed away this year, and
I'm so sorry.
I thank you. It was definitely hard, but it was nice being at home with family, and I didn't really realize how much my love language factored into how cared for I felt, because it's there were a few friends who pulled together and got me sweet presents to remind me of her, or sent me flowers and cards and things like that because they knew how close we were. Those types acts of kindness really stood out to me. Nice. What about you?
I just took the quiz today, and I came out with quality time. I figured if I'm going to ask the question, might as well know mine as well. I think the other one would possibly be acts of service, mainly because I like to give, I like to help. So that's me receiving acts of service is nice, but I really like giving acts of service. I definitely like helping people, and I like to be prepared to help someone if I need to help them in any way, shape, or form.
I love learning that. I'm glad that you looked that up today just so you could talk about it on one of your dates. I'm honored to have been asked. But we've gone way over time.
Yeah.
So I think we need to end the night.
I hope I get to talk to you tomorrow. It was great talking to you.
I know, I hope so too.
I asked the question about our love language. What's her love language? She was telling me her love language is gift giving or gift receiving and quality time. Today I just learned my love language, which is quality time. Apparently, did not know that.
I'm so glad he asked about love language. My friends and I talk about that way too much. I also feel with James, I could just hang out with him and have such a great time.
Yeah, this is hard. Dwindling it down to 2. I got 1 minute to give it out to Elizabeth and text Elizabeth and Khaki, so gotta come up with that. I liked all 4 dates tonight, so.
Oh my God, this is about to be the hardest thing ever. Khaki and Elizabeth just texted me being who do you want to talk to tomorrow? And the answer is, I don't know. Oh no, these boys were all so wonderful. This is so hard.
Okay, so I like the pomegranate just as much as the next person, but I have never seen such a passionate response to a fruit. Personally, much more of a fig person. Does liking the same fruit lead to love? We'll have to wait and find out. Okay, Channing and James B bringing on the love languages questions.
My favorite conversation. Personally, quality time followed by physical touch, for all who were wondering.
Nobody was wondering.
Okay, but how cute was it that James B looked up his love language just for his date?
He's a man who comes prepared. I was flattered that Chrisanne made her karaoke debut on Dating Greek. And we can't forget Elizabeth's spirit animal, the koala. I think we all like to eat and sleep. I'm in.
Last night was, I want to talk to you tomorrow. Tonight was, I hope I get to talk to you tomorrow.
Right.
Tonight, I definitely was vibing with Nikki for sure. Chrisanne as well. So
Update on James B for all of you guys. I asked him what his greatest strength is, and he keeps tools in his car. So whenever he repairs something, if his friends need a tool, he's got it. And when I said that, I was like, oh my God, he's got the Allen wrench to my heart. That's exactly how I felt. I like really like James B. He's my number one contender. I want to know what he looks like, not to be superficial, but I think we're all dying, but I'm like, is he, kind of stocky and like burly?
I think she said she's only talking to 2 guys tonight. I was like, I'm one of those 2. I'm like,
I really can't get it out of my mind. Like since yesterday, like I was up till midnight and I was really thinking about him cutting down a tree in our yard one day. And it stimulates me. I love that.
That's awesome. I love that.
Every time I talk to James B, I'm like, you're nice, but Nikki appreciates you so much more. Like, I feel bad.
Oh, Alexis, you're sweet. I want to meet you.
Can we have
like every time?
Tonight, it was a little bit more simpler with me. I got into some very deep conversation with both Nikki and Maeve. And I think I'm pretty sold on one of those 2.
Okay, I'll just say this. Like I've always really liked him. It's just more of like
I actually know her a little bit from the past. We went to IV together in 2014 and she came up to UGA when I was there in like January 2015. I don't remember like why, but she stayed with me and like there was something there. And then I went to see her at FSU for Valentine's Day weekend. And I don't know, we were just like, long distance, and it was like we were freshmen in college and dumb at the time. But we both kind of like changed a lot since then. I know that there's something there from the past, but has it changed?
sometimes you feel electricity and sometimes you don't, and I just didn't feel it then. But that doesn't mean that I might not now, because it's 5 years later and he's so in tune with his feelings. So I don't know. I really like the conversation, honestly.
Both girls that I went on a date with tonight have never been in a relationship. And I don't know how I feel about that, just because I like to date somebody that's, and I don't want to say it, in a mean way, but I guess a little bit more experience and like knows what they want in a relationship. And, yeah, so I'm a little stuck right now.
Alexander asked, if an ex-boyfriend were to, get on the phone and describe me, how would they do it? And I was like, well, I don't have any ex-boyfriends. I was like, am I being too revealing? It was a little awkward, I think, more on my part than his part.
Chrisanne, the same question Alex asked you, he asked me, and I had the same answer for him because I've never been in a relationship. So
conversations were deep. And I think for me, Lizzy and Carrie were the two I felt like I hit it off with the most.
A really cool thing happened. So in my pre-night expectation video, I wanted to ask everybody what role faith plays in their life. And James L actually ended up asking me the same exact question before I could. So that was really weird.
James, Ellen, and I also talked about faith, and that's not really a subject that I hit on with other guys, but it's one of the most important things for me. He got really excited talking about it, and so it felt really nice to hear that excitement from him and share that excitement.
I think overall the best conversation was definitely with Elizabeth. Me and her are basically the same person. It was just so awesome vibing with her. So she definitely I would say would be my top pick.
All the guys had the absolute sweetest answers to why they liked getting to know me, and I was okay, they really brought their A game. Like, that was a nice surprise.
I mean, like, I personally enjoyed it. Alexis personally buttered me up like a toasted bagel. So, like, I really loved that aspect.
George and Andreas just both brought like such a big smile to my face. George said the cutest thing, and I was like, oh my God, okay, thanks.
I was really vibing well with both Elizabeth and Alexis. I was really happy that we got to talk about something a little bit more real.
Okay, I have to ask this question. What grade do you teach?
First. Okay, so awkward moment. I'm gonna spill all the tea, guys. So I was talking to George, and he was answering the question that Khaki and Elizabeth made us answer, and he was just talking about how he's like, yeah, like you're a first grade teacher, like yada yada yada. I work at a youth nonprofit, so like I do work with kids. He's not talking about me. George didn't take his notes. He's talking about someone else. Like, I don't teach first grade.
Wow, they really did spill the tea. Should we summarize? Channing is feeling all the things, and Nikki has a certain lumberjack on the mind. Faith is very important. James L., Carrie, and Lizzy would agree. Alex isn't sure. And George thought Alexis was Maeve. There you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed episode 3. See you next week for our finale episode. Thanks for tuning in.